Australian on home ground, which they've never done for a World Championship. So I look forward to that, and I think it'll be very exciting.
Production racing is, and always has been, one of the closest forms of motorcycle racing on the planet. It's also a magnificent breeding ground for future stars. In Australia at present, there are several females racing in the National Championship, one of whom is Michelle Morais, who won the previous round at Morgan Park in Queensland.
I come from South Africa, and we moved over about a year and a month ago, so we haven't been here for that long. There's more opportunities here for me and my sister, so that's basically why we came over.
Like so many competitors, Michelle was born into the world of motorcycles, and she says racing was in many ways inevitable.
I started when I was 12, so that's about 9 years ago. My dad had a Suzuki franchise, and one day I saw an advert for a development series in South Africa, and I asked my dad if I could try out, and obviously the first time I got on a motorcycle, the bug bit, and I just wanted to pursue it further from there.
Michelle is still pinching herself following her outstanding result in the second round of the National Championship in Queensland.
Oh, it was fantastic. I didn't expect it, and it was a bit of luck, but you have to finish to win, and I think that's basically what happened in Morgan Park. But the competition and throughout the weekend was amazing. The fellow competitors were all competitive and up there, and no one was getting away, and that made for interesting racing, not only to do as a competitor but also for the people watching.
Michelle is under no illusions. She expects no favours from her male counterparts on the racetrack.
I don't know, I think on track, a racer is a racer. Obviously off track, we're a bit more buddies because, you know, I guess the girls stand together. But just as much competition as what guys are. I think from a male perspective it's the same. They also don't see us as females, well I hope not, and they see us as competitors.
Obviously, racing motorcycles is no place for the faint at heart, but Michelle says the most challenging aspects are the physical and emotional sides of the sport.
I guess it is hard work, but I wouldn't say as much physically as it is mentally. Mentally, I think women overthink things, and when you're in a situation where your brain says you can do it and you have to consider whether your brain is right, you miss opportunities. So I think for us as girls, it's definitely more of a mental challenge. Obviously, physically, we're not as strong as guys are, but I think you can adapt a technique that helps you with the physical part of it.
So what are Michelle's impressions of what the boys think of mixing it with the girls on Australia's race circuits?
Oh, different. They're not all the same. I mean, some love it that women are taking part in such a male-dominated sport. Some are friendly until you beat them, and you know, some barely even talk to you. But I think it's a different perspective for everyone. I think it depends on what your own view is on the sport. But yeah, no, mostly everyone is there to help, and I don't know if they help the girls out more than they do the guys. but I've only seen helpfulness here. Yeah.
Yes, great feature story there on Michelle Moraes. At this juncture of the program, we'll now check out highlights of race 2 and race 3 in production. Absolutely outstanding racing in Western Australia this weekend, as has been the case at every other championship round. And this once again typifies production racing. Kawasaki 250 and 300s mixed together with 6 or 7 riders vying for the lead, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely racing throughout the couple of days that we saw them, and you can just see there, look at that running wide. These guys, and let's not forget girls, do not hold back. They give everything they can, and this is production racing at its best.
So Tim Boujos on the 48 machine, doing a splendid job to get to the front. But of course, the challenges came thick and fast, including Justin Hall on bike number 11, whom you can see back in 3rd position. And this was pretty much the order of the day. Unfortunately, time constraints don't allow us to bring you every lap of every race in our coverage, and hence the production package abbreviated down, as is the Moto 3. But in this instance, you can see that Justin Hall has gone to the front on bike number 11 back onto pit straight.
Yeah, once again, you can just see the action into the hard braking. A lot of slipstreaming available here for these little 300s and 250s over that big long hill at Barbagallo, and it kept the racing very tight. And look at that over the line for the win.
Yeah, Hayden Spinks was in 2nd on bike number 66. And then in the final race of the day for production, at this, the 3rd round of the Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championship weekend, it was more of the same. The boys and girls getting restless on the Prodi bikes.
Yeah, don't forget Michelle Moraes out there too on the number 94 machine, just at the back of that pack of 4. There she is. She doesn't mind mixing it up. In fact, she's won a race this year at Morgan Park a month ago.
So Justin Hall, the race leader, on bike number 11. Fantastic entry class. You can see there that the leader ran wide, and that enabled the rider of machine 93, Drew Sells, to move up into a prominent position. But unfortunately, Drew was to lose the race lead a short time later to Tim Boujos on bike number 48, who was really operating beautifully.
Yeah, Drew Sells is one of the front runners in this class as well. He's been there at Phillip Island and also at Morgan Park, and one of the contenders. He had an off at Morgan Park though, and I'm sure he means to make up for it here, but he's wide again.
Chaos reigning supreme, and Michelle Moraes there, great job up on the inside on bike number 94 into 2nd position.
Yep, that's one of those thank you very much moments, and now she finds herself in the battle for the lead.
Meanwhile, 66 charges to the front. Hayden Spinks, who's been consistent at Barbagallo Raceway this weekend, and the checkered flag flies with 66 emerging victorious. Michelle Moraes in 2nd position in that particular race.
Tim, a pretty successful weekend for you all round. Congratulations on the overall round win.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we didn't really expect this, as you can sort of see by the bike. She's not the prettiest, but it goes okay. Couple of manufacturing defects with it that are holding us back a little bit, but yeah, we'll work on it and yeah, get it ready for the next one.
So let's check the championship points at the completion of the Barbagallo round here this weekend. Michelle Moraes finds herself leading the national championship. 5 points clear of Justin Hall, then Drew Sells, Ilish Ross, Josh McHenry, Hayden Spinks, Tim Boujos and Chris Green rounding out the top 8. Let's go back to Brian Ingerson in pit lane.
Well, I've caught up with Brad Ryan, the General Manager of YMF and YMI, and if that's too many acronyms for you, let me work that out. It's Yamaha Motor Finance and Yamaha Motorcycle Insurance, both very important brands. Brad, tell me about the involvement that both of these brands have with the Australian Superbike Championship.
Thanks very much. It's great to be here. Look, ASBK for us is our first venture as a series sponsor for both YMF and YMI as a championship for the Superbike sponsor. For us, it was an opportunity to showcase what we do to all levels of motorcycle racing. We're involved in the ASBK, we're involved to some degree with the teams with the ASC and also with the off-road. So we have a sponsorship deal with MA in that respect.
Now we're standing here outside Daniel Falzon's garage, and they're one of the teams, well, I think the only team that's running the new R1. It's an impressive piece of machinery.
It is an impressive piece of machinery. I'll be on it myself later on. They're going to give me one lap. Look, Daniel's brand new to the bike. He's brand new to Superbikes, and yet he's polling within 0.1 of championship leader. And on the new R1, considering that no one's ridden it before, he's done about 150 kilometres only. It's an amazing effort, and we're really proud to be involved with him. It's not just that he's an R1 rider. Yamaha Racing Developments support him, and Yamaha Motorcycle Insurance sponsor him as well. So he's one of ours, and we keep him close to heart.
Now, do both of your brands, the finance and the insurance, offer that services to non-Yamaha customers?
Absolutely, we're here for everybody. So our Yamaha dealers and many non-Yamaha dealers offer our products, the insurance and the finance. We'll do anything. If people want to get on a bike, we'll try and help them out. And with the insurance, look, we're there for the riders themselves.
On Fox Sports, this is the Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championship. Our coverage presented by Yamaha Motor Finance, Yamaha Motor Insurance, Motul and Pirelli.
Moto3 racing is a highly competitive class, and one of its rising stars is Tom Bromwich. He says it was inevitable that he would get involved in motorcycle sport.
Well, I got in racing through my dad. He's raced all his life. And then I've rode dirt bikes since I was about 3 to 4 years old. So I've always been around motorbikes. And then Dad started classic racing with Rod Tingate, who he was mechanic for. And he got to know Ron Angel, and Ron Angel helped me get started on a CBR 150 in 2012.
Tom says, in his opinion, dirt bike racing is a fantastic place to start a career on two wheels.
I've always loved dirt bikes, and I still ride them for fun. They're awesome. But I guess just the speed is a lot higher in road racing, and it's just a lot more challenging. And also people like Valentino Rossi, like I've always watched them on TV, so I've always wanted to be like them racing on the road.
Tom Bromwich doesn't attempt to sugarcoat the challenge he faces in Moto3.
Yeah, it's been really difficult so far to come from production racing to Moto3 GP racing, but I love the bikes. It's a lot more technical and I'm learning a lot, so it's really enjoyable.
The young gun says he's been impressed with the speed of the Moto3 bikes since he became involved, and he's also become quickly aware of the need for a perfect setup.
Just how fast everyone else has been so far, and the setup, like learning the suspension and all the new brakes and the computer, the data logger, just learning a lot of things at the moment, yeah.
Bromwich is fiercely determined to obtain success in his road racing career, and he reckons his passion is bordering on obsession.
Once you're committed to racing, everything else evolves around that. Like every day I'll be doing something to do with racing, like no matter what, like either training or getting the bikes ready, changing the oil. Like it's really good now. Ron Angel, he's taken over a lot of the bike stuff, so I just have to concentrate on the riding aspect, which has been really helpful.
Tom Bromwich is indeed fortunate to have the guidance of Ron Angel, a doyen of the sport, in his life, both on and off the track.
Ron, he's like a mentor for me, not only on the track, but for life. Like, he's been around GPs his whole life, and he's got a lot of experience. I would be nowhere near where I am today without him. He's helped me a huge amount, and yeah, he's just invaluable to our team.
Like most young sportsmen, Tom Bromwich is already dreaming big. He has his future mapped out, at least in his mind.
Well, I really, really want to race in the World Championship. That's been my goal ever since I can remember. But I think next year it'd be good to go to a bigger class, maybe 600s or something, get some more experience at higher speeds. Yeah, we'll just see where it takes us and just keep trying and hope for the best.
Okay, now time on the program to show you some highlights of the Moto3 racing conducted earlier today. Again, time constraints don't allow us to bring you comprehensive coverage of all classes in action. Moto3 outstanding so far in 2015. And in this highlights package, the rider of Machine 15, Lockie Taylor, got away to a good start.
Yeah, he did. He got off to a brilliant start in front of a lot of the other normal guys. But then, of course, we saw the number 24, who is Matt Barton, come through to take the lead. Now, Matt has been super strong here all weekend until this moment.
Very, very nasty indeed. Rider able to get up and walk away. Extraordinary.
Yeah, well, he was the pole sitter, but not in this case. And there's Tom Bramage coming through, and he's just come through on number 29. That's Ted Collins. This is the strongest we've seen the young Bramage ride for a long, long time.
You can see Ted Collins give a signal
to
the other rider there. Very close together. Robin's racing, they say.
Oh, we got a fall up.
Yeah, unfortunately, a nasty incident. Did halt proceedings whilst the rider was tended to by the race safety crew, and as a result, the race restart.
That allowed Tom Bramage to get straight out to the lead with Brian Houghton, the old dog from England, on his little machine there. A big battle ensued between these two guys.
Here, Horton, Honda mounted, and hails from Queensland, riding a 250cc bike, and checkered flag there. Now we go through into the final Moto3 race of the day, and best to begin was bike number 15, Lockie Taylor, who also got the whole shot in the race we showed you prior.
Yeah, he really knows how to get that little 250 Moto3 bike off the line, but as we've seen, there's a lot of competition there in the background, and once again, number 44, Tom Bramage into the lead.
Also, we saw Brian Horton nipping up the inside on machine number 17. So these guys really playing for keeps in the Moto3 class this weekend in Western Australia.
Matty Barton was coming through too after that DNF he had earlier in the weekend. Just there in a podium position at the moment, trying to make his way through, and what a tight bunch it was up the front with number 29, and that is Ted Collins just on the back of that group.
Yeah, Collins in 4th position at this stage of proceedings. Again, this circuit really well suited to the Moto3 class. Extremely close racing, as you can see. Matt Barton on 24, nipping up on the inside, an exciting moment.
But the old dog, Brian Horton's not going to have enough of that. He's gone through in turn 1 and left Matty Barton in 2nd place. So it really did come down to the wire with this bunch of 3 in the end.
Our highlights coverage of Moto3 continuing. Race 3 for the weekend. Brian Horton under siege, nipping up on the inside. Matt Barton in a nice move. Back onto pit straight. You can see there are bikes all over the shop. Nothing between them as they race to the checkered flag. And getting home was Matt Barton in an absolute thriller. Overall points for the weekend though. Horton on 164, then Matt Barton, followed by Tom Bramage, Benjamin Leonard and Ted Collins, rounding out the top 5.
Brian, fantastic result for you here at Wanneroo Park. I mean, this is your second life in road racing, but you're making the most of it.
I certainly am, yeah. Very, very enjoyable day. Certainly made the effort worthwhile coming all this way. It's very expensive, but well worth the effort. Thank you.
Well, today we're taking a closer look at a Moto3 bike, and with me is Peter Doyle from MA. And Peter, you're going to unravel this, so talk us through what are the main specifications of a Moto3 race bike.
Look, the Moto3, a bit different from all the other bikes we've looked at. the super bikes and the super sport bikes, super stock bikes, they all start life as a street bike, and then we turn them into race bikes. These things are a purpose-built race bike. So they're a production racer, but built only for racing and not for the street use.
All right, well, we might get the owner of this bike, Tom, to come in and lift the front fairing off, and let's take a look at some of the mechanics underneath.
So Moto 3, typically there'll be a Honda or a KTM, single-cylinder engine, 4-valve. In case of this bike, one of the features that has it's a little bit different is the cylinder head's turned around. So you'll have the carburetor is actually under here in the airbox, so it has a pressurised airbox. And you see they take air in from under here, so that helps the performance. And the exhaust pipe comes out the back, where conventionally you'll look at bikes where the exhaust pipe comes out the front and under.
What sort of suspension do these bikes have, and are there any other sort of controlled components in this bike?
Yeah, look, in case of this bike, it's got Showa suspension. Look, in Moto 3, a lot of the controls are based around engine size. So they've got a set bore size, so that's controlled. They're only allowed to have a single cylinder engine. It's only allowed to be 250cc. It's got a weight limit with the rider. And this is the class where you're young, the new generation comes through, like where Jack Miller's come from, and this is where they start in the Moto 3 class.
Finally, Peter, what sort of speeds do the Moto 3 bikes get up to around here?
These things produce, so they're in the vicinity of 50 horsepower. We compare to your super bikes at around 200, but they're very, very light. And even with only the 50 horsepower, they're still looking at speeds of in the 220 to 230 km/h range. So they're not slow because, as I said, they're very, very light. They rev to about 14,000 RPM, so and the riders have to keep them in a very narrow power range. So they're very quick despite their small size.
Well done to Peter Doyle from Motorcycling Australia. What that man doesn't know about motorcycles is frankly not worth knowing. Bikes on the grid now for Super Sport Race 2. Let's head down to Bryony Ingerson.
Well, Braden, another front row start. You took out the last race. Have you made any significant changes to the bike between?
No, nothing really. Everything's basically the same on the bike, so should be a similar feeling. I think the track temperature's dropped a little bit since the first race, so I'm not too sure if that's going to play a big role in it, but once again, I'll keep the same strategy, try and get out that start and be consistent.
You've just done a siding lap. You'll get to do a warm-up lap before the race. Have you noticed the track has changed a lot since the temperature has dropped?
Bike feeling-wise, I didn't really push it too much on that siding lap, so I haven't noticed anything just yet. Hopefully there should be a good amount of grip out there, and look, we're starting with fresh rubber again, so these new Dunlop tyres should hook up pretty well.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
You can see Sean Giles standing behind Braden Elliott's bike. It is a handy asset to have working with you across the race weekend. Now for Yamaha, we check out grid positions in race 2 of the Super Sport Championship. Elliott, Zampiri, Lambert, Coote, Phyllis Van Buren, Burns, Coote, Taylor and Limington being the top 10. It's a good field of bikes. Quinn, Twist, Boujos, Hopkins, Moraes doubling up this weekend. Also riding in the 600s, then Clay and Quinn. Of course, Moraes has taken the lead in the Production Championship of Australia. Let's head back to Bryony Ingerson before the race starts.
Alex, the nerves were showing before the first race. How are you feeling heading into the second one today?
Yeah, it's still a similar sort of situation. Obviously, it's a bit later in the day. Get a bit tired towards the end of the day, but, we'll go in and once again, eyes on the first quarter and see where we can come out.
Great battle between yourself and Sam Lambert in that first race. You expecting more of the same in this one?
Yeah, it should be similar. I'm not sure if the times are going to be quite as quick with this weather coming in, but, hopefully we'll be up the front and we can just, tuck in behind each other without too much, stuff going on and just settle in for a good race. The last few laps should be interesting.
Bryony with Alex Phillips. Welcome to our highlights coverage. Race 2 of Super Sport. Barbagallo Raceway near Perth. Will it be Elliott again? Right-hand side of screen, bike number 51. The man to beat here. Away, and again, Elliott got a good start. Also quickly away, Alex Phillis on bike number 20. Not too shabby, the 66 machine of Aidan Coote. In fact, Coote settles down in second spot on the yellow machine as they thunder up the hill the first time.
Yeah, Lambert on the Triumph got duffed up that time. He got nowhere near as good a start. Once again, Ryan Taylor back in the field. He stuffed his start up as well. But as you say, Aidan Coote, the man that ran off track in race 1, is right where he wants to be on the back of Braden Elliott.
Yeah, the YZF Yamaha running well in second position. Elliott has broken clear, albeit just by a couple of bike lengths. A 16-lap journey, and the Supersport 600 stretch their legs down the hill, approaching the right-hander, back onto pit straight.
Yeah, he's yet to put a foot wrong, is Braden Elliott, and so far, so good. But I'll tell you what, he's got a gaggle of machines behind him. Alex Phillis is up into third place already, and looks like he is hanging on to the back of this group here.
Good to have your company. The Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Championship, supported by